Australia's largest telecommunications company, Telstra, says it's completed a massive restructure that saw staff cut by 9,500 in the past 3 years. Full-year profit at Telstra grew 3.4% to $1.9 billion, and Telstra will return $1.35 billion to shareholders via a buyback. Its full-year dividend, 16 cents a share, around a 4% yield. I spoke with Chief Executive Andy Penn and talked about the company's turnaround and where it finds future growth.
We're a telco and we're always going to be a telco. And I sort of describe slightly less about utility, but there's no doubt that people look at our infrastructure assets differently than they look at our trading business, if I can put it that way. And as you know, we've set up our infrastructure assets in a standalone business unit. We've just done a major deal monetising our towers at a 28 times multiple, which is phenomenal compared to where we trade. But at the same time, it's also forcing us to think very differently and focus differently on our trading business, where technology, services, new markets such as health and energy are all offering really significant growth and value opportunities and drivers. And that's why we'll be talking to the market about what comes after T22 in a few weeks' time. But one of the things I've said it's going to absolutely focus on is growth.
Because one of the aspects of this is that many of your customers use your services and get phenomenal growth from their businesses. And one of the things that's always been frustrating, I know, to you as the chief executive, is that you can't somehow share in that growth that many of your customers achieve.
Well, I think that's right, Ross. But having said that, whilst it may be a frustration, it's our problem to solve. And that's very much what we're focused on doing. And how do we solve that? We solve that by actually offering services above the layer of the network, as we increasingly do, and really helping enable our customers get the best out of the digital opportunities available to them today. How do they move their business services to the cloud? How do they protect themselves from a cybersecurity perspective? How do they use this new world of the Internet of Things, where you can connect things that are not mobile phones to try and improve automation and robotics? And in fact, on the Internet of Things, this year, we connected a net new 900,000 devices to the network. So that was pretty impressive. I can remember the days when we would connect more phones than things. Now we connect more things than phones.
Because one aspect of Telstra with such a dominant market share in Australia is that unless you're able to pinch a bit of market share from your competitors in mobile or broadband, you've really only been able to grow at the pace of Australia's economy. And that's a bit restricting. But by being able to free yourself up to invest in different things, you can potentially grow much faster than simply the national economy or the population growth, for example.
Well, I certainly think you're right, Ross. I mean, there are growth opportunities. So if you look at our health business as an example, that's really starting to sort of get into a great position strategically. We spoke today about expecting organic growth in the high teens in 2022, the current financial year. And that's going to be on top of the contribution that's going to be made from a couple of acquisitions we've announced over the last few weeks in Power Health and Medical Director. And that business is all about electronic health. And in fact, Telstra Health is now the largest electronic health company in the country. And you and I know, as a consequence of COVID, how that has really highlighted the importance of being able to provide healthcare in a virtual and a digital way.
Now, in the past, Telstra's embarked on ventures overseas. Some have gone okay, some haven't. But do you get a sense now that if you can get proprietary information here, I'm even thinking about the payment system and what Afterpay's been able to achieve, do you get a sense that maybe some of the features you've invested in, some of the proprietary information that you can achieve at Telstra goes way beyond Australia's border and could create global growth rather than just Australian growth?
Yeah, look, I think so, Ross. I mean, we, as Telstra Ventures, I was referring in the presentation I made earlier today with our results, Telstra Ventures has been phenomenally successful as a venture capital company and as a corporate-backed venture capital company. It's made 74 investments, or it's invested in 74 startups. Of those, 12 have become unicorns, i.e., in other words, they've achieved a valuation of more than $1 billion. And 4 of those have actually gone on to achieve a valuation of more than $10 billion. And they are overwhelmingly international businesses. I can't quite remember the exact number, but 90% of them would be international businesses. So that gives us access to great technology, great innovation, great ideas, great value, but also growth opportunities as well.